This is the ADC bag from a company called 6 Moons Designs, which up to now have been designing everything for through hikes, for ultra minimal, carrying everything on your back, walking the Pacific Coast Trail or something like that. And they designed this bag just for what they call adventure trekking. I can already feel how comfortable this bag's gonna be. Because I took this bag on a 5-day walking trip in South Africa on the eastern coast. It was incredible, but I walked all 20 kilometers a day in this to test out these straps, this harness system, the durability of this thing. I was setting it down in muck and anyways. Let's get into it. There is nothing on this bag that wasn't built for an extremely functional but a minimal objective here, which is to keep it as lightweight as possible while still being able to carry all, like have a capacity that you need, more on that in a second, and a harness system that you're gonna be able to be as comfortable as possible walking with this thing. Right now, I would say this is the lightest weight full-size travel bag that you can get on the market. It is going to be available in multiple sizes. This is the 45 liter. I'll have some recommendations for you on that, and it will be available in a couple different material selections. This will be the more expensive version. This is Challenge Sailcloth's Ultra material, extremely light, extremely durable. If you're gonna go for it, I mean, just go for it, right? But the Roark nylon that they're gonna be making the other one out of is also super durable, super light. It's just gonna save you it's just gonna save you on the price. Even the mesh on this has Challenge's Ultra material sewn into it. By the way, love this huge, deep pocket. Being able to just throw, whether it's your granola bars or your rain jacket or something, throwing stuff just right out on this feels really good, as well as these elastized water bottle pockets, which, by the way, in production, I think this one, not the one where the handle is, will be even higher. This is a prototype of this bag. All right, so pack with me here. You're gonna see this zipper here, our main compartment. There's a laptop compartment here on the back. Then there is a admin panel right here, and then a sort of quick accessy pocket here. That's all the external access on this bag, besides hip pouch pockets over here. Now, it is not just one, but wait, this episode is brought to you by Epicka. This is their TA105 Pro. It's a universal travel adapter that features 70-watt GAN fast charging. Okay, it has global compatibility, includes 4 different plugs that adapt to 200 plus countries and regions. It can adapt 10 types of plugs from the front face. It has 3 USB-C and 2 USB-A ports, and one of the USB-C ports offers up to 70 watts of fast charging. It also has a built-in 10-amp fuse, safety shutters, separate plug lock system, FCC certifications, and a 2-year limited warranty. All this for about 50 bucks, all right? This is strong enough to charge your laptop, all right? This is radical. This is great. Many electronic devices don't need a conversion between 110 and 220. They got that built into them. This does not convert between 110 and 220. Like I said, you're going to find most devices already do that internally. Shout out to Epicka. I'll link to them below. If there's a discount, I'll have it applied during that link in the YouTube description. Okay, thanks Epicka. Let's get back to unpacking this bag. Now, it is not just one big, massive stuff sack, okay? A lot of ultralight packs are just roll top, be able to expand, contract, really, really functional. But when you're traveling in a modern context, you don't want to have to pull everything out of your bag just to get to your, toiletry kit or something like that. You can easily access things on this bag, whether you have the zippers at the top or on the side to be able to peek in or something like that. Lots of organization. You're gonna see not just here, this is the only organization here besides some clips that you can strap your gear down in, but Big pouch here on the front, which is just an open pouch, nothing to it, and it goes down to like right there. Then this admin panel, actually quite a lot of organization. Little zipper guy, a bunch of little pouches you can throw stuff into with some more elasticy stuff here. And then this goes all the way down to the bottom here, which I'm a little bit like, you want to have a pouch or something that would make this really functional. A taller pouch. Six Moons does make some really interesting accessories, specifically like an ultralight umbrella. Again, these guys are making stuff for hiking the PCT, like for hike, not just that one, but like lots of ultralight packing. This is a small umbrella, but it costs like almost nothing weight-wise. That's kind of cool. They have some little sort of organizational pouches, which are very lightweight, and some clip-ins that you can put your pens and stuff into, as well as a laptop tech pouch, which you might be able to fit most of your tech needs like charger and stuff in here, and then plop that into the laptop compartment here. All in all, my feeling on these accessories is fine. I actually haven't used any of these. I've just been doing everything using just the bag itself, which I haven't had a problem with. You may want more protection for your laptop. More on that in a second. But this organization admin came in handy, the ability to just kind of like have everything where you need it. And then again, that's not thrown into the main compartment of the bag. Accessible externally without having to get into your main compartment. All right, so pack with me here. Number one, progressive stages on meditation on emptiness. Gotta have some light reading material. This is a bunch of stuff that I've just thrown in for a shorter trip that I recently did. I've got my hooded merino sweater, which I love. I'll link to this below. My puffy jacket that actually is kind of stylish from Western Rise. I throw my toiletry kit just right up in here, which is fairly easy just to access from the bag. Some merino, some regular, a button up, some extra pair of pants, jammies, and shorts with another pair of board shorts in here. Trick for travel is find some shoes that you dig but that don't take up much space in the bag. It's nice to be able to switch it up, but you don't have to like carry a big old chunk of shoes in your bag. So here's what the inside of the bag looks like. I think in production they said there's actually going to be 4 of these straps, which do come out if you want them to, with just these little T-hook things. You've got a zipper down here, but this is just to get into, you can see there's an ingenious kind of just simple cable under tension that kind of loops around this whole thing just enough, which helps you when you have all soft-sided stuff inside of your bag to put that weight right onto your hips, because these hip straps, I'm gonna tell you about these in a second. Short story, they're excellent. In here you can see the backside of that challenge, that ultra material, where we have this diamond pattern kind of reinforcement throughout. 2 just meshy zipper pockets up here. I put a little rain jacket in there and socks over here. That's a simple little pack out, all right? That's a simple little pack out for this. It was very floppy with all that stuff in it. It is a soft-sided bag. There is nothing in this bag at this point. Oh, my scale's out of batteries, and I don't have any double A's, so I'm just going by feel here. It feels good. I'll put on the screen exactly how much it weighs, but it's light. What's interesting about this material is you have an extremely lightweight, but you're not sacrificing anything on durability. In fact, the opposite. I feel more comfortable putting this down on mud and dirt than I do something that's ballistic nylon, like a travel bag from Air or something like that. But this is the 45 liter, and I would recommend going with the 35. The 35 is what I'm going to recommend for most of us. 45 is great because it's maximum carry-on size, especially for US domestic type flights. You're gonna get in some troubles if you're going out to Europe with that size, or Southeast Asia. Obviously, 45 is bigger, so you can put more stuff in it, which means you'll carry more stuff. It'll have more weight of what you're carrying. And I think you can smush everything into a 35 It's going to be tighter on your as a pack, and that's going to make it actually easier to carry. And you're not going to have any issues with some of the flights that have bigger restrictions, either on weight or on size. And especially if you're doing legit adventure treks, sort of walking a lot, that's the size you want to be in, for sure. But if you just want the biggest travel backpack that you can get and have it be as lightweight and durable and last sort of, like, I think this thing's gonna last, I think this thing's probably gonna outlast you. The kinds of things that will break down on it might be zippers. Zippers tend to go. This whole thing, if there's any issues with your carry, like, this is all replaceable. Everything here is replaceable. Maybe the elastic here can go. I don't know if they'll have some sort of replacement or fixing service option in the future, but this bag likely is going to, the bones of it at least, is going to outlast you. Like, they'll fight over it when you're dead. Now, they have multiple harness systems that you can get to attach to this. One of them is a vest system that was designed for someone with, like, who has back and shoulder injuries, like a full, like, vest system, which I was super curious about. But this is their, what's called their flight system, I think. This has been tested by hundreds of thousands of miles of walking. By the way, this is your luggage pass-through. If your luggage trolley is, like, wider, could have some issues with that fitting here, but it's nice to have. I know some people love to have a roller bag and then a big old fat travel bag to bring everything that they possibly can. This hip strap, see how fat this is? See this, like, massive clip here in the front? And then we are pulling from here on 2 different straps to get this thing totally synced down on your hips. Just felt great. You want that weight to go onto your hips, especially if you're walking long distances, which is what this is made for. So the fact that these guys have built this harness system for ultralight hiking, through hiking, it does put them in a bit of a different category to most of our, you know, urban travel bags, right? I definitely noticed this mesh, the breathability of it, the sort of like impact of it down here and through the middle of my back with the sides being able to breathe. I love this mesh. It feels really high quality compared to your standard sort of meshes. You're gonna notice that immediately on the feeling. Nothing about this bag's like sleek, like cool, just fit in, like, oh, I'm a cool guy walking through the, it's like, this is like kind of serious. Even though actually in the black, I think it looks pretty fucking slick. But you do have these pouches on the front here and on your hip belt. This came in so handy for me. Just, you'll never, like, your phone goes in there or bar goes in there. I was using little cameras, so I'd put them in there throughout. Kind of nice. There's something about obviously it's lightweight, but just the toughness of the material, the locked in of the harness. The Osprey pack harness was great as well. It was just a thicker material, definitely carrying different kind of stuff, your tent, your sleeping bag, and all that as well. I think you could do all of that with this. Some changes that are coming in the production models. Like I said, this side, the water bottle is gonna go up higher. This side, there's a handle, so they won't have the water bottle come up higher. The internal fabric, I think, is going to be slightly different. It's going to be Challenge Sailcloth's RBC 200, and it is a blue sign material that I think is gonna be in gray, not white, which I would recommend because this does pick up, the white does pick up dirt easier. You can see that dirt in here from, again, like these were like walking shoes that had been walking through dirt and mud and sand. You can see that pick up here. Also on the inside, I mentioned there's gonna be 4 straps instead of 3. The zipper pulls are all gonna be like this one on this hip pocket here, which is nice little, just a little bit of texture and enough pinch there. Feels good. On this front, the hoop or the loop here, I think is gonna be a little bit lower, and there'll be some daisy chaining that they're adding in here for adding accessories. That's all the changes. Let's talk about these water sealed zips, by the way. They've worked great. I wouldn't recommend walking in a full-on deluge downpour. No zipper like this is actually completely waterproof. That said, I did walk in a downpour for an entire day with this thing, and my stuff was fine. It was totally fine. In fact, their packing cubes, which for some reason I can't find right now, are all waterproof and taped seams as well. So that was nice to just know that even if some rain got in, some water, it's like not like rain drops, it's just like you go in and like there's a little bit of moisture on your sweater or something like that. That was after a whole day of walking in the rain. So if you are really taking this to walk the Camino in some season where there might be rain, to do some Alps or something like that. I don't know. If you're really doing some adventure trekking, I think they're designing a rain fly for this. Nice to have. Or one of those ponchos that covers you and your backpack. It's probably the most ideal way of doing it if you're going like on an adventure. Laptop pocket, all right? You can feel right here the top of that hoop, that structure. And you can feel down inside of here where it comes in a little bit. So sometimes as I was putting my laptop in, it would get hooked on one of those sides and I just have to like finagle it in. You can also feel the laptop stops right around here, which is essential. You definitely, with a soft-sided bag, you want that false bottom. And there's a lot of structure from that cabling down here, protecting the bottom of your bag and the laptop. My 16-inch laptop fit perfectly in there. I would probably recommend using some sort of a lightweight protection. Again, theirs is actually solid for this sort of thing. It's designed to be like the thing that you carry when you're stashing this at the Airbnb or the hostel or whatever, and then you can go down to the cafe and have your espresso and bring your laptop and catch up on emails. This thing has great details for such a simple bag. Here's like a little like ice pick sort of or walking stick clip. You've got that, I think, on both sides. You've got some accessory straps or places to latch some accessory straps. There's just some little details throughout. It clearly shows, for instance, the like little bar tacking in here, the way that it's just built solid. I didn't think about if I could trust this bag. Part of that was I got to hang out and talk with the founder of this company, who was just a gangster, like literally traveling around the country in his van. He's been living this kind of lifestyle for a long time, and he's just experienced in it, right? They've been building great stuff for a long time, but this is their first foray into making something that's more for us nomadic sort of travelers. Everything else that they've put together is much more outdoorsy. When you have a piece of gear that you're doing something meaningful with, when you're on a real trek or an adventure of some kind, or if you're just like getting out to Europe for the first time in a long time, or maybe the first time ever, it's like something that's really trusty. The truth is there's a lot of things on the market that is super trusty. This thing is built for going hard. And it'll survive it. You know, it'll probably survive it better than you. You've got just enough of the organization so you don't have to pull everything out of your bag to get to something. It's got enough of the tech organization for getting through the airports and living on the road a little bit before I'm even on the trail. Now, if I was walking the Camino and doing like an actual trek, I wouldn't want to bring my laptop with me. But you might have like an iPad or something that you can still do your emails with, and it doesn't take up too much space or add too much weight in the bag, because you're literally a product manager at a tech company and you're like, I happen to also be walking the Camino. I'd like to do that at some point. Do you have any experience doing an adventure trek like that? Super interested. That's it, man. That's like my overall conclusion here is a thumbs up. Grabbing this feels perfect. The kind of stiffness and the give in it feels great. Ratcheting down these hip straps and getting them really solid. Being able to have the bag on and just barely, if I'm working on my shoulder mobility, to get my water bottle out from there. Like, once you're on this bag, you kind of don't want to take it off. It becomes a part of how you're moving. So that's my take. It's really an honest review of this thing because I really put it through its paces. And I'm stoked for 6 Moons Designs. They partnered with me on that trip, and this was like a full-on excursion to test out this bag, which felt great. Felt good. What do you think about this? Honestly, I think this one will probably end up coming in the like, you know, 400 to 500, maybe even more with this ultra material, and probably around the 3 to 4 for the Robic. So it's not going to be the most affordable bag out there, but I have no problem paying that money for this because of its capabilities. What's your take? How you feeling? Where's your next trip? Where are you going? You got any travel planned? What's the story? What like, are you? It's where I'm at right now. Spring has sprung, and it's getting me kind of fired up. This whole trip to South Africa, I like fucking loved. Every time I've been to South Africa, I've loved it. Cape Town's one of my favorite cities in the entire world. Getting out into the Kruger Park and going to Londolozi was incredible. Seeing the literal ancient animals there. Being on the eastern coast of South Africa on this Pondo Trail was incredible. I'll link right in the description below to Wild Child South Africa. They do these trips. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. That's it. That's all I have. That's it. Ask any questions in the comments. I'll link to everything in the description below. If you do purchase this, use my link because it does support my family. It helps us to put some food on the table. And other than that, if you're traveling, you need to get on the Travel Glad free little email course that I've got. I send you an email every week or so, and it just has a bunch of tips and tricks on how to travel mo better. Because, you know, more travel, more problems. Doesn't have to be like that. All right, that's it. That's it. I hope you're doing well. Bye.